Hey, what's up? It's Matt in Japan, and welcome back to my channel. And today, from the Transformers Bumblebee, the movie, we are looking at Studio Series Wheeljack. So very happy to have this guy in hand. I really enjoyed having Brawn and Ratchet. I've been playing with those guys a lot. Very fun figures, and I'm sure Wheeljack is no exception here. So let's take a quick look at the packaging. You have your standard fare here, logos, Takara Tomy, Generations, Transformers down the right. Let's get a quick look at the actually movie rendered image we have there. So there you see Wheeljack, looking very cool in his sort of traditional G1 colors. Just a little bit of a modern update here, so looking really nice. So you see Wheeljack there. Now he is a deluxe class. Just taking a look, more of that same artwork on the side. Studio Series 81. You have your product info on the bottom. Much of the same on the side. Authentics logo. There is a full picture of Wheeljack, and I of course love that inlay they use on the side there. Transformers Bumblebee at the top there. And on the back, you have your product shots. Let's take a quick look at that. There you see Wheeljack in his robot mode, and he converts in 31 steps to his Cybertronian vehicle mode. And the backdrop we get is Cybertron Falls. So quick look at the backdrop there. And that's the obviously the scene in the movie where Cybertron, the tower there, is just getting destroyed by the Decepticons. And of course, we have big screen inspired scale detail backdrop. And a quick blurb, Wheeljack and the Autobots are overwhelmed by the Decepticon attack and must escape Cybertron if they hope to survive. And that is that. So, without further ado, let's get the Studio Series Wheeljack cracked open. See what this guy's all about. Alright, so here we have Studio Series Wheeljack out of the box and onto his backdrop. So let's take a quick look at that backdrop. Taking Wheeljack away here for just a sec and getting in on the detail there. So very cool. Obviously the image in the movie where they are being blasted by the Decepticons and are desperately trying to escape Cybertron as it burns. So very cool. Really like the inclusion of these backdrops in the Studio Series. So let's take a quick look at Wheeljack's details here. And look at that head sculpt. Wow, that is really amazing. Came out really nice. You have that gunmetal gray, a little bit of silver paint to kind of break up the face. You get those nice blue eyes and some nice sort of metallic blue paint for the sides there. Looking very, very cool. And I just love this Studio Series, all the mechanical detail you see on this figure. Going down the chest, you have a nice white Autobot symbol, and you have that green and red, kind of classic Wheeljack colors there. And it's nice, this is not a very stark white like we saw with Ratchet, it's sort of an off-white, which is a very nice look. And again, going down on his arms, just the amount of mechanical detail is so cool. Going down, you have some clear spaces here for the where the vehicle mode is, and you see some nice molded detail here on the pelvis region, and even in here, just the sculpted details just everywhere. Again, I'm finding the more I look at these figures, the more detail I'm finding. So going down his legs, again, there's some very nice sculpt work on the legs, some nice detail, nice little green bits here, and some nice panel lining there. His knees almost remind me of a sort of Gundam style robot there, and his feet look very nice. The legs look very simple, but again, you have some really nice details to sort of offset all that. Again, this guy, the figure kind of right out of the box, he's a little bit loose, much like my my Ratchet figure. So again, nothing some floor polish or something can't fix. And then looking on the back, you do see his wings there on the back. So that's how he looks from the back. And again, that back of the head, you get some nice detail as well. And just some really just cool molded bits. And you see how the legs cover, the back of the legs cover the hollow parts, which is very nice. And yeah, that's about it for the robot mode. So he does come with one accessory, just putting him back on the backdrop. He does come with one accessory, and that is his blaster. And let's take a quick look. Now, I did realize all these blasters kind of look the same. They have a very similar design to them, where they have this sort of bulb kind of thing back here, and you have the this part, the kind of boxy part here, in the barrel sticks out. I'll tell you what I mean if you take a look at. So this is Wheeljack's gun. Very nice, very much like we saw with Ratchet and Brawn. Just a very simple design, but it has some nice detail there. So bringing in, let's see, Brawn's gun, just as a quick comparison, you see what I mean? It's just like the design elements are very simple, very the same actually, where you sort of have that tapered barrel there and it kind of goes in. So you can see the similarities there. And also with Ratchet's gun, you see basically the same type of thing. So Wheeljack's gun is just a little bit different, but I think they all kind of share that same design element. But anyways, Wheeljack can easily hold his gun here in his hand. And let's see, it seems like a pretty, yeah, seems like a very tight fit. So the actual gun is a very tight fit, but as far as the joints are concerned, his legs are kind of very loose. His arms seem fine, but yeah, his legs seem a little bit loose. I found that with all these studio series, the legs are kind of just a little bit floppy here. So that'd be my only complaint so far. But other than that, this guy looks awesome. Very, very cool. So let's take off his accessory and get into articulation. So let's look at his head. His head is on a ball joint here, and it does swivel all the way around, or it's rather a mushroom joint there. So it swivels all the way around. Actually, it's very, very tight. You don't get much, sort of like we saw with Ratchet. You get a little bit of upward movement. Actually, quite a bit of upward movement there. And down, and not too much side to side, a little bit. It's actually very tight. It's actually pretty expressive as far as his head is concerned. He does have, I think if you move, these all move on one, so that's very nice that they, put it on the arm so you can do a full rotation at the upper arm. He does have a swivel there, and he does have a upper arm swivel there. And his elbow goes, there's a double joint because of transformation, so you have the 90 degree plus a little bit extra, which is always very nice. And then there's nothing at the wrist. They're all just one molded piece there. So getting the arms out of the way, he does have a waist swivel, which is very nice. Always nice to see the waist swivel on these figures. He does have a ball jointed hip here, so you get a little bit of rotation there. And then there's no rotation. There's no rotation at the actual thigh, but you do have some rotation at the ball joint there. And he can kick back that much, and he can kick forward that much. And he's got about, as all these figures usually do, about a 90 degree, maybe a little bit less. It's kind of hard to tell. This panel kind of hides the knee, but for the most part, we'll call it 90 degrees. And then, of course, with all these updated figures, there is a little bit of pivot here for the transformation. And he doesn't have, this guy doesn't have an ankle pivot, actually. Let's see, am I missing something here? Yeah, he doesn't really have an ankle pivot. He has a kind of forward and back, but he doesn't really have an ankle pivot. So there's just a pin going right through there. So unfortunately, there's no ankle pivot unless I'm totally missing something. And I don't think I am. So unfortunately, there's no ankle pivot, but that is totally fine. This guy seems highly posable. So let's do some comparisons. Let's take the backdrop out of the way here. And let's get Wheeljack, Studio Series Ratchet, Studio Series Brawn. And it's going to bring in 86 Perceptor just as a sort of a bigger size figure here, just as a comparison there. See if I can get them all in the frame here. Let's move my camera back. And there they are, just a quick size comparison. Now I am going to take away Ratchet and Perceptor and just do a quick comparison between Whoa, there goes Perceptor. There, just a quick comparison between Wheeljack and Brawn. Now, these guys are the same, almost the same size. I thought Wheeljack would be a little bit bigger, and actually kind of wish he was a little bit bigger. I kind of wish he was more like the size of Ratchet. As it is now, Wheeljack seems a little bit small. He's just about the same size as Brawn. I think Wheeljack maybe has a little bit more height on the head, but for the most part, not much. They're pretty comparable. So anyways, that is a quick size comparison. Let's get this guy transformed into his vehicle mode and see how he fares. All right, so we have Studio Series Wheeljack all transformed into his Cybertronian vehicle mode. And this guy's transformation was a little bit tricky. Definitely had to follow the instructions. But I feel like Brawn and Ratchet was a little bit more intuitive. You can kind of figure out how things work. With Wheeljack, I definitely had to follow the instructions, and it was a little tricky, but not too bad. And all in all, it came out with a beautiful vehicle mode. Really liking the sleek look of this sort of very aerodynamic car here. So taking a look at the front, you get some nice kind of foggy gray plastic for the windshield there. You see your Autobot logo on top. Kind of classic green and red paint for classic Wheeljack colors. You get some nice sort of detail here, the red paint and the green part. And you can see the grille there, which is very cool. Just very futuristic looking. You get some really nice white paint for the rims. A little bit of panel lining here. You get some really nice panel lining on the side. You can see the door handle. You get a little green pinstripe there. I really like this molded detail. It just kind of makes it look like it's very fast and very sort of race car-like. It's a very cool detail. It's a little bit unsightly on the back. It's a little bit open. You know, I don't think there's much they could have done with this unless they added like a panel here to sort of cover that up. So it's a little bit, you know, it's a little bit unsightly from the back. But other than that, a very cool looking vehicle mode. And in the bottom too is very flat, and he rolls. See how well he rolls. He rolls pretty nicely. So anyways, yeah, nice vehicle mode. And there is weapon storage in vehicle mode. And there's a little peg there that can just plug into either one of these ports. There's 2 ports right there. And it can just plug in like so. Easier said than done, of course. But yeah, there we go. And you have weapon storage, so you can be racing down Cybertron and shooting up the Decepticons. So very cool. Always great weapon storage for these figures. So anyways, let's do some comparisons. So we have Wheeljack there, and I'll just do comparisons with the same studio series. And we have Ratchet and his sort of stubby vehicle mode there, again with Brawn and his very cool looking vehicle mode. So that is how they fare. You got Wheeljack, Ratchet, and Brawn there. Just a quick comparison there. And as far as, let's see, let's do a Wheeljack and Ratchet comparison. Wheeljack is a little bit longer than Ratchet. And let's see, Brawn in vehicle mode, actually Wheeljack comes out a little longer than Brawn as well. So even though in robot mode they are about the same height, Wheeljack does become a little bit longer in vehicle mode. So taking these guys off. So I think they're definitely knocking it out of the park with these Studio Series figures, and Wheeljack is no exception here. My only complaint would be the loose joints in the legs in robot mode, but that's something I can easily fix. So if you guys have not picked this figure up already, I highly recommend him. Add him to your collection. You will not be disappointed. So overall, I'm having a lot of fun with these Studio Series figures. They're very fun to transform and just a little bit different from the sort of the main line. So it's actually very refreshing to get some different type designs and molds and transformations going on. So I've been enjoying that very much. Anyways, this is Matt in Japan for Studio Series from the Transformers Bumblebee, the movie Wheeljack. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Have a great day.